back into the grid, ladies and gentlemen. This is the moment that we've been all waiting for. Here we go, the green flags have been waved. Hoopalicious is on pole. Here we go. Flambog is in the front row alongside him. We're just waiting on the lights. And as soon as they come on, and as soon as they come off, we will be witnessing some great Formula 1 action. The 5 lights are on, and the British Grand Prix! It's underway! Hoopalicious starting ahead of Flambog, and Flambog has a fantastic start, and there's an AlphaTauri already going off on the background. Flambog leads the way, he takes over the lead, going into the first few corners. He leads the way ahead of Hoopalicious, and it's at Jamham in third. In fourth is the AlphaTauri. You see there, Hamjam fighting with Rando for position there. They're going side by side as he power now towards the Wellington Straight, side by side, wheel to wheel action. It's a drag race towards Brooklands, and we do have a couple of things happening in the background, and it's still side by side is the Renault of Hamjam and Rando. They're still wheel to wheel. They can't stop going side by side. They need to stop going side by side, going into corps. There's no way those two are gonna keep going side by side. They're 4 wide. They're 4 going into corps. And look at that. That's still side by side. It's still wheel to wheel action, and Rando needs to get forced wide coming out of that corner as they go towards Maggots and Beckett. Flambog leads ahead of Hamjam, Jam, Crispy, Rando, Hamjam, and Roller. Simply amazing.
Oh, what a start from Flambog. Managed to jump Hoopalicious nicely, and well, we saw a few drivers get their elbows out a bit, most notably Rando.
Sorry, Sam. Just Beast Assassin on Zydrad. Could you come and take that one?
Yes, Zydrad and Beast are going side by side now through the last couple of corners. Zydrad should hold it around the outside. They're giving each other good racing room, good racing respect, and who's going to win this battle at the moment? And ooh, someone who's lost a battle quite considerably is Rando. Race Roller and Hamjam have both overtaken him. So Rando's dropped down from P4 down to P6.
Wow, I do see now Zydrad going for the move on the has there of UK Beast Assassin. Those two giving us good racing. Of course, you see that the leaderboards all glitched as always here in the Formula 1 game, but the race is on, and I'm looking at the front wing end plate of Zydrad, and it looks like he has front wing damage. Apparently, the Mercedes made contact in the first few laps. Now the leaderboards looks like they are correct, and well, it's only going to be very tricky for Zydrad to continue racing here in Silverstone with part of his front wing missing. Of course, with front wing damage, we should be expecting those drivers to drive as if they were driving Formula 2 cars. But let's just pay attention to this. Hoopalicious, who lost the lead in the first lap of this Grand Prix, is looking to retake that lead of the Grand Prix in the next few laps. He's pushing now, trying to get Flambog, and Flambog is the underdog here in the situation. We're not expecting to see this Alfa Romeo up there in the top tap of the not the top step, the top position of this Grand Prix. We're not expecting to see him there, and well, Hoopalicious is not either.
I think he's going to make the move.
The inside, not really thought about it, had a look on the inside as Flambog has a little bit of a moment there, going wide, going as he goes through this left-hander actually, and well, it looks like he's getting closer. Could be now. He's getting closer and closer, and it looks like it's gonna be a fairly easy move for Hoopalicious. No, it's not. Or is it? Flambog not fighting really, just letting him through. I do believe he doesn't really need to fight that hard with the Ferrari driver, that he can just steal behind him and save some of your ass. But action everywhere you look.
Yes, absolutely, and now Flambog has to look backwards rather than ahead of him as Jamham is pressurising him. So, despite that fantastic start from the Alfa Romeo driver, he's going to be coming under some serious pressure from the championship leader behind him. He wants that position on Hoop. He wants that potential race victory over Hoopalicious, and this is going to be a battle to watch. The top two in the championship are now occupying P1 for Hoopalicious and P2 for Jamham now. So there we have it. I think that is all what we wanted. Can Hoop break clear of the DRS? Can Jam follow him nicely? And how much of a fight will we see as smoke's gone off?
Oh going out of...
LP Smoke has lost it. Out of Stowe. Don't know if he's picked up any damage, but
Looks like he doesn't.
it's going to set him right back. He was looking really good on the medium compound tyres at the beginning of the race on the alternate strategy. And has made a big mistake.
Well, I must say, Sam, just looking at the bottom 5, Beza's V2X Combat, who was with the AlphaTauri going off in the first lap of the Grand Prix, going off there. Smoke is 19 seconds behind the leader, so that's not a good start by himself as well. Merckx and Nicky got a bad start, and an even worse start is for B-Dunk, who is out of the race, and he's not going to be able to complete the race. B-Dunk, who, well, it gave us a great display of racing last week. He's done a fantastic job. And what's happened there? Oh, as Jamham is closing in on Hoopalicious there, both the championship leaders fighting here. This is the fight not only for track position, it's the fight for the championship. Those two championship rivals, it's like Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. It's like Alan Prost and Ayrton Senna. This is what I love about this division. And in the chat, Ranga says Hoop. Well, let's hear who you're rooting for in the stream chat. Let us know who do you want to win this Grand Prix. And you see the current tires as
Ghost Colt and Darnell, the two McLarens, have both just overtaken Paraclix, who's got really out of shape for the final couple of corners, and Ghost Colt's now up to P11 on his mediums, running very well, as is Kevin in P10 on the medium compound tyres.
Wow.
Zydrad is showing some really impressive pace despite having half a front wing, losing his left front end plate. He's not dropped off as far from this leading 7 drivers as you perhaps would have thought. And yeah, he's doing a decent job.
Yeah. And Hoopalicious,
but the
well,
battle for the lead is the one we need to look out for.
It's not raining, so can Hoopalicious maintain this lead? You see Jamham close it in fast, very fast indeed, as they approach Maggots and Beckett, and Nicky getting a time penalty. So do expect some penalties being thrown there. We do expect that. That's a strike that track limits are definitely going to be an issue, especially with those fast-paced turns. Jamham is closing in, just trying to save energy. Just go on board now. Jump on board now with Jamham on the back of Hoopalicious. Looks like he has not too much ERS, so he can just save a little bit. And the DRS strain is very much a thing here in today's Grand Prix. Zydrad comes into the pits.
Yes, repairing that wing damage, I expect, and moving on to, I presume, a set of medium compound tyres. Mediums we will expect to go to the end from here.
When Flambog is fighting back. Flambog is on the back of Jamham there. Or I was expecting after the first few laps Flambog to just fall backwards and lose some positions. Of course, no disrespect to him, but just looking at the start, it looked like he wasn't very comfortable through the first few laps, but he has a driving style that's kind of similar to my driving style. In the first few laps, can't really feel the grip, can't really feel the track, but after a few laps, you get used to it, and then you start to get confident and then show your true pace. But while the top 3 very close indeed to each other, I would say the top 4, 5, 6, everyone is very close indeed, and the only driver, the only drivers in the top 10 who are within 1 second within each other are, I believe, UKB's Assassin, Kevin GT. So, as we speak,
yes.
Hoopalicious is under pressure now. Jamham has definitely a look on the inside going into Stowe. Hoopalicious, Hoop knows what's coming after him. He knows Jamham. Well, in no time at all, we should be expecting this man using the DRS to his advantage and try to close in the gap between them and possibly get ahead.
Yes, it's going to be a very, very long battle towards the end of the race. Flambog slightly dropped off from them, which perhaps opens up Crispy to maybe make a move if Hoop and Jam can clear the DRS. But at the moment, Hoop's going very defensive. He knows that Jam is a very, very real threat for this race and wants to make sure that Jam does not even get a slight sniff at him. As look how close that gap's going, and
wow, this is just amazing. That's simply fantastic. Hoopalicious and Jamham fighting for a position here on track, and well, with only 21 points separating the top two, I must say this is very important for Hoopalicious. Even though I mean, Jamham finishing in he can afford to finish in second place, and that's not really gonna affect his championship hopes, because of course he has the advantage, demanding the pressure.
Got caught up on the X on Chapel. I think this is going to be a move.
Look at this, here we go. Jamham having a look on the inside and approaching Stowe even before we get into the braking zone. Jamham takes over the lead of the Grand Prix. He's the new race leader, but well, with those two being really matched in pace, I must say, I'm not sure if he's going to stay there for long.
Oh, Ham and Rando made a very early stop here. They feel like they can get an undercut on the few drivers ahead of them, and are going super aggressive here. That is what we like to see. We like to see drivers taking risks with the strategy and giving it a go. Mediums will last the end quite comfortably, and they want that track position. So, how will Ham and Rando be able to pull away? Is this a yellow flag? As I think there's a Haas that's gone off. Yes, that is Paraquix.
Ooh, that's Paraquix. And he's lost part of his front wing, and well, the damage is definitely there. Surely he must have lost the car coming out of turn 1 and 2. And well, just looking at his front wing, well, he's gonna have to do the same thing that Hamjam and Rando did. He's gonna have to come into the pits, and I must say, he's a long way from home. He's gonna have to travel all those turns with part of his front wing completely detached from his car. Zuki Beast Assassin gets a time penalty, but looking at the race lead here, as Hoopalicious tries to close in on Jamham, at the same place that Jamham got the position away from him in the previous lap of the Grand Prix. They're very close to each other, but look at this, UK Beast Assassin, quite a long way behind Race Roller. As Jamham comes into the pits.
Yeah, he's reacted to the undercut and has made sure that Hoop cannot possibly undercut him by springing an early pit stop himself. Flambog and Crispy follow him, meaning that it's just Hoopalicious and Race Roller who were in that leading group who have stayed out. So, will the undercut work? Will the overcut work? Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out, Sam. Let's find out as Jamham puts on a set of mediums now, just waiting on Hoopalicious. Well, from my experience in the Formula 1 game, Silverstone is certainly a track that the undercut can work, and if you're a quick driver, if you're smart, it can work very well for you indeed.
Oh, there's yellow flag. Someone's crashed.
Oh.
Don't know who that was. I think that was Merckx.
Oh,
yeah,
that's Merckx.
Red Bull is off.
And there's yellow flags in Sector 3. And funny thing is, it looks like he's crashed, but I don't see no front wing damage, so I don't think he's crashed. I think he's spun in the last sector. He's having an awful Grand Prix.
I think Crispy must have had an off as well, because he was right with the likes of Flambog, most notably. He was really close behind Flambog. And then I saw a yellow flag of Crispy coming out the pits, and he's now behind Rando as well. As Hamjam, we talked about the undercut, and he's jumped Flambog. He jumped all the way up to Flambog, so Hamjam is now in a net P3, I would say.
Oh yeah, Hoopalicious
behind
is
his
coming
brother
into
and
the
behind
pits.
Hoopalicious. It'll be really interesting to see where Hoopalicious comes out here, because
Is he gonna get out in the pits? 3.1 seconds pit stop. It's not really that good. Where's Jamham? He is in the final part of the track. Going around the final corner
where's
now.
Ham as well?
Ooh, this is surely gonna be close as he powers down the Hamilton straight. Rando gets the fastest lap. Who's gonna come ahead? Hoopalicious is out of the pits. And he is behind Jamham. It looks like Jamham's undercut. Did it work? I don't think it did, to be honest.
I think he was probably just protecting himself from making sure that Hoopalicious didn't do the undercut on him. And that looks to have worked. So yeah, I'd say that works as well as he possibly could have hoped for. As now, interestingly, there's a little bit of a battle for currently P2, but it will become a lot lower down than P2 once these guys make a pit stop, between Kevin and Darnell and Bezzers and Ghost Colt. Ghost Colt was ahead of Kevin, but I think had a bit of an off and lost a few positions, so...
Oh, and also Bezzers on the back of Darnell here. Are any of those drivers going to come into the pits? No, because they are on a set of mediums. They started on the mediums, they're still on the mediums. Colt, Bezzers, Darnell, Kevin GT, and Beast. Beast is the only driver still yet to pit. He's yet to pit, and I'm looking at the stream chat, and it's a very interesting conversation happening there. Looks like people talking about the stream overlays. Hamjam puts on the fastest lap, only did the top 6, and Smoke haven't pitted. So people talking about me using illegal streaming. What's that? Illegal streaming devices. Yes, indeed, I am using illegal streaming devices. Another driver who's using illegal stuff is Jamham. This man is on another planet. He is definitely cheating. There's no way it can be that quick. And well, Hopelicious on the back of him as well. Those two are surely gonna provide us good racing throughout the race, and I don't want to go with them all the time. I want to give space for some other drivers, because we do have also a battle between Darnell and Kevin GT. They're closing the gap between themselves, and well, look, oh, what a beautiful camera angle. It's over, unfortunately, but that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was a very nice camera angle. I think Darnell made a move on Kevin a couple of laps ago, and yes, he's hoping to pull the gap on the Mercedes driver. So showing some good pace at the moment is Darnell, but showing some good pace at the moment is Hooperlicious. He's got a lot more ERS than Jam, and looks like he is feeling the medium tyres a bit more comfortable than Jam is. So this battle for the lead certainly is not over.
Yes.
Kevin picks himself up a penalty, meaning that Ghost and Southerner are the only two drivers who started on the mediums who are without a penalty.
Oh yes, Beast Assassin comes into the pits, 2.5, very quick pit stop indeed by the Haas pit crew. Just wish that was the same in real life. But look at this, Jamham, the guy who is in a net race lead is really under pressure. Hopelicious is closing in the gap really fast indeed. He's just on the tail of Jamham, just sitting there on his gearbox. His V2 Actoma puts on the fastest lap of the race. But yeah, there you see that the AlphaTauri driver, 126.9. I used to race against him. Let me tell you something, guys. I've beaten him before, so yes, I am a quick driver indeed. Please praise me as Yamaha goes towards Corpse. And even though this gap between those two is very quick, what am I saying? The gap between those two is very close. I'm not seeing too many overtakes. Do you know why is that, Sam? Do you think it's because possibly the Superlish is saving? Because I'm looking at his steering wheel, and that's over 80% of ERS to use compared to Jamham, who has over 40. So, well, it's an interesting strategy.
Interesting one. I think he's just waiting to. Maybe try and move later on in the race. Personally, if I had this much battery, I'm thinking maybe you could maybe try and move now and then use that extra battery to attempt to pull away, as well, unless you can put Jam under pressure and make use a lot more of his ERS than Hoop. He's going to be able to regain a bit more of his ERS lap on lap, and then eventually have more to fight you with. So Hoop did use this strategy though in Bahrain, and it did work very, very well. He stuck behind the race leader of Freeman at the time until the last lap, and then dumped all of his ERS and managed to get past him. So I assume he's probably trying a similar strategy to that.
Yeah,
I
understand, Sam. He's probably doing. Look how close he's getting to Jamham in the approaching Maggots and Beckett. I was gonna say that this can really backfire in case of a safety car that can completely ruin
he's
his
gonna lose the
chances.
DRS now,
But
though.
now, as Superlicious, well, it should be a fairly easy move going into Stowe. Down the inside goes the Ferrari of Superlicious, and up into the provisional first place, or the net lead of a Grand Prix, goes Superlicious again. Another position change for the lead. And now they're gonna trade places, and as Kevin GT comes into the pits, it's time for the opposite to happen. It's time for Kevin GT, oh sorry, not Kevin GT, Jam Ham, to save his ERS, save his battery, use the DRS zones of the track to his advantage, and well, with that, try to close in this ERS battle, this ERS gap, because ERS energy in Formula 1 is such an important thing. And talking about important things, we do have an important battle going on here between Flambog and Ham Jam as well. So don't count those two out, because they're pretty close. Ham Jam is within a second. Oh, it locks up going into Brooklyn's, and that's surely going to give space for the Alfa Romeo, who also, I believe, locks up to try to capitalize on his mistake. He's not going to do anything about it. It's going to stay there. Jam Ham, though, still on the back of those. I want to go with other drivers. As a safety car has been deployed.
There's a little turn up for the books. The guys who started on medium compound tyres are absolutely loving the safety car.
And we've seen that before in Summer League Racing, the safety car completely changing everything, as you see both the McLarens of Darnell and Coates. Again, ABR Freeman not present here in today's Grand Prix. Darnell and Coates in a McLaren and a set of mediums are gonna pit. And this is perfect. This is perfect timing for Darnell, but I wouldn't say perfect timing for Coates. Coates is gonna the double stacking is not gonna be quick enough, and he's gonna lose too much time. The pit stops are usually around 2 to 3 seconds. That was a 5-second pit stop. That was very slow indeed. Coates is gonna come out. Let's see what Darnell's gonna come out. Now on a set of, let me just take a look at his tires on
soft tires.
Oh yeah, the red stripe tires is gonna come out in P. Darnell's gonna come out in P at 8. Bezos is in P9, and Coates in P11. So that really helped them quite a lot, didn't it?
Yes, they're going to have fresh soft tyres versus the guys in front who are on older mediums, and drivers like Crispy, Race Roller, near the back of this train are going to be looking over their shoulders. And you said about a safety car maybe kind of being a bit of a problem to the Ferrari of Hooperlicious if it came, which is why he needed to make the move as soon as possible. That now shows why he did need to make the move, because Jam can recharge his ERS to 100%.
Well, that's interesting.
Paraquix has explained why he crashed. Explained his incident. He said he lost traction coming out of the final corner and hit the pit wall. So, very unfortunate from him, but it certainly spices up this race. The guys on the softs are going to be very racy, especially in the first couple of laps. All to play for.
Indeed. And well, 37 viewers. We do have a couple of new people in the stream chat, as I can from what I can see. And well, if you're new to Summer League Racing, make sure to send us a message. It can be on you can look us up on Twitter or anywhere you can find us. And well, if you're new, you're probably wondering what's the championship standings. And well, if you ask me that, let me just show you here. Jamham 75 points is the championship leader. We go with him now. He's in second place in the race, but Hooperlicious, the man in second with 154 points, only 21 points behind the championship leader, is sitting in first. So if it finishes like this, well, 25-18, if my maths are correct, that's 7 points. That would bring the championship gap down to 14 points. So, well, that's just quick maths here. I'm probably wrong, but anyways, Midzi, the man who's in third in the championship, he's probably gonna lose that position in the championship as the rounds go by, because he's out of the league due to personal reasons. So the AlphaTauri is not gonna not gonna be here. ABR Freeman is not here with us today. He's in 4th in the championship. Ham Jam in 5th with 114 points. Is in 3rd there, so he should be jumping a lot of drivers if he maintains that pace through throughout the race. And another thing though that I want to point out, in the British Grand Prix, in which, like I said before, 14 out of the 20 drivers are from Britain, Great Britain, and I must say, look at this. I'll just turn this off and turn this on. Ham Jam, 15 wins. Presto Evans, 16 wins. No one has won more than Presto Evans in Semi League Racing's history. This record could be equal today. Do you think that's gonna happen, Sam? What's your opinion on that?
I think it's hard to look past both Hoop and Jam of the way. It's going to be very difficult for Ham to make a place up unless one of the top two makes a mistake. The safety car is now in this lap. Here we go.
Oh.
Here we go.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's going to win this? Who's going to win this? How's Hoop's restart? And how will the guys in the softs do?
Oh, he's off.
Take us away as... Oh, there's yellow flag.
Flimbog is coming into the pits.
What on earth happened to him?
What on earth is going on? What on
Flimbog must
earth
have
is
had an
going on?
incident. Because, yeah, he's now all the way down. He's way down. He's out of the points. He's completely out of the points.
God. What just happened there? I have no idea. I have no words. Flimbog was having a great Grand Prix. He's now out, basically, of the race. And we do have 3 retirements here. We do have Paro Quicks, Nikki, and B-Dunk out of the race. Justice for Nikki on the stream chat, as you can see. But it looks like no one is going for moves here. The first lap coming out of the safety car window. It looks like everyone is just here and just staying in the same position that they were before. Apart from Flimbog, who's down to P17. And that's awful. I wonder what happened there. I really do.
I can only assume he got damaged under the safety car somewhere or another, but I can't really figure out how he would have. Maybe he hit the back of somebody. Maybe hit the back of Ham, perhaps, on the safety car restart. But yeah, that now promotes Rando up into P4, and could he potentially be chasing his first elite podium? As Hoopalicious is really wringing all of the ERS out of the car. He knows that if he can clear the DRS of Jam, then he's going to be in a very good position to win this race. The gap's increasing sector on sector. It's just about who out the top 2 makes the least number of mistakes now. Hoopalicious sets a blisteringly fastest lap. His tyres are cooled. He's rinsing his ERS.
Oh, look at this Rando goes off. Sorry to interrupt you, mate. This is Rando going off, coming out of turn once. Just unusual stuff.
Yeah, maybe showing a little bit of the pressure. A little bit of the pressure. He hasn't scored too many points in Elite so far, so he's trying to score as many as he possibly can and get his season well underway in Elite. But he's under pressure from Race Roller now, who goes down the inside. And they can't fight it. So Race Roller moves up into P4. Could the Scottish driver perhaps be looking at another podium?
Look at Crispy!
And his Rando got damage as well, because Crispy's now having go at him. He's being absolutely swamped here as the Red Bull. Crispy goes down his inside. Darnell is now going down his inside. And Rando's going backwards here. Disaster for the Red Bull driver.
Oh, disaster indeed. And Rando, who I was going to talk about here, he was going to get his maiden podium, I believe, here. And I see going backwards and backwards indeed. I'm looking at his car. I don't see any damage, and I don't see any damage here. It looks like he's going backwards indeed. And another McLaren that's coach looking for the move on Kevin as they go side by side. I bet Rando loses another position and almost out of the points. Smoke going for the move on Southerner, going into the club section. It looks like the Ferrari is not going to consider position. Here we go. Everything, the Grand Prix is very much coming alive in this 19 lap of the Grand Prix. We do have 7 laps to go. And well, this Grand Prix has been so enjoyable that it's, well, you blink and you're gonna miss the race. It's kind of like that.
One thing, Hoopalicious failed to break the DRS of Jam Ham. Jam and Ham are now 1, 2, and 3 in the DRS of each other, and this is now the race for the victory. This is going to go down to the wire here.
Sam, I don't know about you.
Race on his new softs.
I don't know about you, but I am really excited for this one. I'm really looking forward to this. To see the battles in the last few laps of this Grand Prix. We could be in for a treat here. We could be seeing some fantastic Formula 1 action as Darno gets a time penalty, and it's such a close grid here. It's such a close, I mean, everyone's just pushed up, so a time penalty can really affect your score and your points in the final stages of the Grand Prix. Crispy is under pressure, but he knows now that he has a penalty. Colt is moving up a position on Rando, and now Rando is only P9. I don't know. I really don't know what's happening. I don't know if he's putting on the wrong tires, if he didn't have a set of mediums. You see the current tires here. Rando, the only driver apart from the top 5 who's on a set of mediums, so that's probably...
Yeah, he's just gonna fall backwards every lap here, I think.
Yeah. And you see...
yes, the drivers behind him are just gonna completely swamp him on the softs. As a driver to look out for now is SLR Southerner, and Zydrad and SLR Southerner are battling it out. Someone pointed out SLR Southerner, the Ferrari driver who has not yet scored points this season, after penalties, could potentially be on for points here today if he can avoid one himself. He's just been passed by Zydrad, but at the moment he's in quite a good position. He's got VX2X Combat and Merckx behind him, 2 very quick drivers, so...
Oh, look at this side by side. It's going to be side by side between Darno and Crispy. Not really. Crispy is going to deny that, saying not today. You have to wait for the next straight. And it looks like
Crispy's got no ERS.
Oh,
he's got basically no ERS.
No energy equals nothing you can do. So Race Roller, who's in P4, is probably going to say that the gap between himself and Hamjam is quite big as the... Oh, look at this Racing Point having a look down the inside of Darnell. And as they go side by side, going into the last 3 corners with the Racing Point on the outside is going to turn into the inside line, fighting for P6. And it's going to be Racing Point ahead of the McLaren. But for how long? As they go towards the 21st lap of the Grand Prix, and Bezos ahead of the McLaren there. We're going to go on board with him now as Jamham looks like it's pretty close to a position. It's going to be now, Sam.
This could be a battle, yes. Jack using a decent bit of his ERS, but they both have a reasonably similar amount, so I expect this race to be well and truly on for the front of the field. As Crispy is maybe going to think about a move on Race Roller for 4th, and no thinks better of it. And these guys are definitely going to be under pressure from Bezos, Darnell, Ghost Colt, Rando, as Southerner and V2 are battling it out. V2, after having a poor start to the race, does have the old combat as Kevin has crashed. Kevin is out.
Oh,
I'm not quite sure what happened, but he was running really well.
And that's another retirement here in today's Grand Prix. 4 retirements. Kevin GT out of the race. Oh, I cannot believe it. Cannot believe what's happening in today's Grand Prix. This is certainly Jamham having a look down the inside of the population's going into stall, and he takes over the lead of the Grand Prix with 41 viewers. I must say, you are witnessing action, battle. The championship leader, if he finishes like this, he's gonna improve and extend his championship lead. You see populations there. Oh, let's just go with Jamham started 3rd, moved up 2 positions, and it's looking to win the Grand Prix ahead of Populations and Hamjam, because those 2 are battling. He's closing in between those 2, so it's a 3-way battle. It's blue versus red versus yellow. This is semi-league racing.
Yes, a driver who's also going to be moving up a lot of positions here as it stands is Ghost Colt. He's got no penalties, and the 2 drivers ahead of him do. So he started down in P18, did Ghost, and at the moment he's on for P6. As, oh wow, look at this, Crispy and Race Roller. Hello. Crispy has managed to make a move up the inside of Race Roller, but Race Roller, we know he's a fighter, we know he does not give up positions easily. Can he hold him through cops? Can he hold it nicely? And can he maybe try and challenge as V2 has made a move on Southerner here as well? But I think there might be another attempt at a change of lead, and the Hoop's going to stick behind Jam. But as Southerner picks up a time penalty, that's going to hinder his charges. But here comes Race Roller.
Here comes Race Roller having a look on the inside, going into stall, and that's up into 4th place with 4 laps to go. Number 4 is the way to go, and another way to go is having a look on the inside. You see there the McLaren trying to go for the move on the Bezos. It's so close. The gap between them is simply, I mean, it's just nothing. It's literally
And the gap
nothing.
between the 2 leaders is nothing. Look at this.
Oh, and
Hupalicious
Hupalicious!
Jam.
He's trying to have a go on Jamham. You see the tire condition, 64%. He's trying to have a look on Jamham. Jamham has a little bit of a moment there, locking up his tires. And as they power down towards the Wellington Straight, and they head towards the following 2 corners, and it looks like Jamham still leads, but the gap between the leaders is literally nothing. It's Race Roller and Crispy battling again.
Race Roller gets back past Crispy. There's another move for P4. Interestingly, the top 2 aren't really changing positions all that much, but behind them for P4, they're absolutely slogging at it. There's an absolute train, some might say a trolley train from Race Roller and P4 all the way down to Smoking P14. There's absolutely nothing between every single one of them. But when will Hoop choose to attempt to make his move? He's got a bit more ERS than Jam. Both of them want this victory. Both of them know how important this is for the championship. But further down, Crispy is making a move on Roller.
Again. And once again, we do see Crispy and Roller going at it. And through stall again, they love this corner. They keep changing positions. Lap after lap after lap. And down the inside goes Roller on Crispy. And he spun round. Another Alfa Romeo involved in shenanigans. And down and out of the points he goes. This is historical. This is amazing. But not for the Alfa Romeos. But, well, for the Ferrari and the Williams. It's certainly going to be a podium, but who's going to be on the top stat of that podium? We're about to find out. Lap 24 out of 26. It's time to start, well, going for moves. Hupalicious knows that. Had a look on the inside. Not going to go for it. He's going to wait for the next stretch. Going wide now into the next corner. That's the way to go. Trying to get the traction and maybe go for the move and going into Corpse. And, well, it's certainly close, but wow, this is certainly going to be historical, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. On the Roller move on Crispy, I have to be honest, I think Roller was a day late and $1 short with his overtake. He never was alongside Crispy. Crispy turned in normally, and yeah, that's just what's going to happen when you make a move there. And
sorry, mate, to interrupt you, but we do have damage, I believe, for Colt. Colt, I believe,
Darnell
has damage actually, as Colt makes his way up to 6th. So he has damage, and even though he's going to jump some positions here because of the, of course, as he's side trying to losing some positions that are going side by side, going into the final 3 quarters, and well, the Alpha Tauri pushing him off wide and saying, no, this position is mine, and oh, he can't do anything about it. And right on the back of him, you see the tire strategy there. You see the final stages of this Grand Prix. This is simply sensational.
Yes, absolutely phenomenal battles going on from top to bottom, and the one at the top certainly is not over. And if the top two collide, Jam, you bet will be there to pick up the pieces. This could be an absolutely sterling last few laps. Hupalicious has nearly 100% of his ERS.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not excited right now, you better check your pulse. This is Formula 1, this is the Elite Division, and this is an absolute banger. What a Grand Prix we're having as Hupalicious, who's Jam in the leaderboards there, is closing, and this is surely his biggest opportunity to go for the move. He needs to go for it now, and well, let's just see. He's closing in on board with him now. Jamham is certainly deploying all of his energy, so with Jamham deploying everything that he has, and he's going to be leading going into the 26th and final lap of the Grand Prix. Well, he's going to, as he locks up going into the back of the Jamham. Almost contact there.
Yes, Jam does not have much battery, but he does have the track position, and dirty air here is ever so important. It is so important, and yes, it's going to be nail-biting stuff, really. Where is Hupalicious going to choose to attempt to make his move? He's made slight contact with Jam. This is shades of Japan last season, where the two of them made contact when battling for the lead.
Here we go.
Jam goes super defensive. He does not want Hoopalicious to get even a whiff of his slipstream, and Hoopalicious does not use any ERS there. So the battle will go down to the hangar straight and the final 2 corners. This is going to be absolutely sensational, this final couple of sectors.
Oh, Sam, it's been a pleasure to commentate alongside you to this 26th lap of the Grand Prix. We see a yellow flag, but Jamham still leads, and look how close this is. The final lap of the Grand Prix. Can Hoopalicious take the victory away from from Jamham, actually, and closing the gap? He's so close, he's right on his gearbox in the final lap. Only one more DRS zone, one more opportunity to take the victory. Hamjagam is on the back of the 2 as well, and he's closing in fast. I'm going onward with him now. It's power towards Stowe. Is he gonna take the lead? He's closing in. Down the inside goes Hoopalicious, trying to go for the race win. Side by side in the final corners. Jamham manages to stay ahead, but is Hoopalicious gonna dive down the inside? He will. He doesn't make contact with him, and Jamham, it looks like there's nothing. Oh, and Hamjam's gonna take the position. He's off, and Jamham wins the British Grand Prix, and now Hoopalicious is round. He's rounded off, and is it over for him? Oh, he's crossed the line
managed
before.
To cross the line just before.
Oh,
but
my
what a fantastic
goodness.
ending. Jamham takes the victory with an absolutely sterling defense, and we did say that Ham would be able to maybe take a sniff if the top 2 came together. Hoop thought about a last-ditch move up the inside, and Ham was there to pick up the spoils, to pick up the pieces, to make it a 1-2 for the 2 brothers.
I'm shaking.
As
I'm shaking.
the rest of that was an absolutely phenomenal end to the race.
I am shaking right now. I have no words. This is simply amazing.
And if you remember a driver who has also had a good result, I just seen in P7 is Merckx. He was all the way down. He had spun. He was last by a mile. He only just caught up to the pack before the safety car came in, and he has managed to pick up P7. Who is your driver of the day, everyone? Jam takes the victory. Ghost Cop is up 13 places to P5. But wow, that was a brilliant end to the race.
Well, Sam, if you could invite them to the party, that would be amazing.
Certainly.
And you, as we listen to this anthem that you listen to every single week in Formula 1, and winning his home Grand Prix, Jamham from driving for Williams, is the Grand Prix winner. His teammate, not his teammate, his brother, finishing right behind him in 2nd place, and with Hoopalicious losing 2nd place in the final lap of the Grand Prix. That only means that Jamham is gonna improve and extend his championship lead going into the next round. It's looking very good for him indeed. Another victory for Jamham, and he's closing in fast, trying to get that record for most wins in Summit League racing. Crispy finishes in 4th, Ghost Scott in 5th, Bettles in 6th, Merckx in 7th, Randolph in 8th, Rachel in 9th, and closing in the point positions is V2X Combat. That was a Grand Prix to remember. That was simply amazing. Dylan says, big cringe. I do agree, and that's why I do it. Zydra finishes out of the points, Southern as well, Darno, Smoke, Flambog, and UK Beast Assassin. And the bottom 4 couldn't finish the race, unfortunately for them. But on to the race interviews now. If you could do, Sam, the number 2, the 3rd and the 2nd, and then I do the 1st. Could you do that?
I think I don't. I've seen Hoopalicious is offline, so I'm not sure if he's going to be joining us. Understandably frustrated with the way his end to the race went with that battle for the victory.
So you do 2nd, and I talk to Jamham. Could we do that?
So I'll do 2nd, and you can do 1st. So yeah, starting off with Ham Jam. Well, you've managed to find your way up to the front and stole P2 right at the line. Are you happy with P2, or are you always thinking, oh, I could have got one step further for the win? Do you think you could have done any more, or are you happy with your result?
It's not letting me tick my box. There's no box for me.
There's no box for the audio is included automatically.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, I'm really pleased with P2 to be honest. I was going to be really pleased with P3. I was a bit disappointed with quali P6. I felt I could have done a lot good enough for the top 3 or 4, but it wasn't to be. Decent start, and then it was kind of just keeping some good pace up. I was a little bit slower at the start, but once I kind of got my bearings together, then it was just about sticking with the guys in front, which wasn't terribly difficult to do, as the DRS is so powerful around here. But yeah, I mean, I was talking to James, obviously in the party. We were kind of saying like, this is, you've got to get past him because we thought he was saving battery, so that's why James went past him when he did. And then I knew that they were going to battle, obviously. I mean, who doesn't want to win? So I knew the battle was going to go on. And then I've done a similar move to that before when I've seen someone kind of just in desperation go for a move into Vale and get the line wrong. And yeah, just got the switch back and, well, I'd say completely pulled his trousers down, to be honest, down the inside. So yeah, I mean, I'm chuffed, to be honest. Little while since I've been on the podium, so yeah, I'm really pleased with that.
Yeah, of course, a sterling recovery from your qualifying position. So congratulations on the P2 and another 15 points, which I believe takes you now to P4 in the drivers' standings.
Very nice. And well done to James and Hoop as well. Yeah, great races from both of them.
And now on to Matt, who will take the interview of the P1 driver, Jamham.
Well, Jamham, what can I say? I have no words that can describe this victory. This is certainly gonna be a historical Grand Prix, not only for you, but let me tell you something. Winning your home Grand Prix, of course, you can't deny. You've done that before, but now you've done it again. You've won the British Grand Prix, your home Grand Prix, and well, I must believe that you're having a very good time now, winning your home Grand Prix, beating Hopalicious, who finished third, so you extend your championship lead. Just give us your thoughts on today's Grand Prix.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing with that one. Yeah, I'm a bit lost for words, to be honest. I really wasn't expecting it that last lap. It was, yeah, pretty hectic. I've not usually been the best around Silverstone, but yeah, seems to have found a bit of pace around here recently, and yeah, it was a really good one. A little disappointed in qualifying, couldn't hook a lap up, and my PB would have put me on pole, but yeah, I knew my race pace was good from practice earlier, and I wanted to get the move done on Hoop and try and defend it at the end and make him use a bit of battery, and yeah, it was really close. That mistake he made at the end, getting dropping him to third, was a bit of a added bonus, but it was a great fight between us, and he really pushed me that whole race. So got to say congratulations to him as well. But yeah, I'm just absolutely buzzing with that one. It's my first win since Australia. I've got a bit bored of finishing second, to be honest. So yeah, I'm really happy.
Yeah, well, another thing though to close this off, I must say, with you taking this victory, that means you have now 15 victories with 15 wins in semi-league racing. You're now tied with Hamjam, who I believe is your brother, with 15 victories, and Presto Evan has 16. That means that next round you could tie with Presto Evan as the driver who's got has amount of victories here in semi-league racing. Do you think you have enough in you to win the Hungarian Grand Prix, which is the next round? Do you think you're quick enough through that?
I think it'll be tough again, like all these races are, but I'm feeling really confident in my driving at the moment, so I don't see why not, to be honest. But yeah, hoping to get to the top of that all-time wins list, hopefully at some point this season for sure.
Yeah, and with this, I like to end the stream now. Sam, any more thoughts on today's Grand Prix?
Well, I was just going to ask Jam about kind of just that result extending your championship lead. As you said, you've been second or third for so many races this season. It feels like you're on the podium every single week. But yeah, your first win since Australia, but kind of always coming second or third to different people. So and that's kind of really helped, you build up a decent championship lead. But getting that victory, getting that sizable points, puts you on 200 points now, as we can see on the drivers' standings. How does it feel to finally not play second fiddle to someone in the race and consolidate your championship lead with a victory?
Yeah, it's great. It's the first race I've won on track in SLR for absolutely ages. I can't remember the last time. Might have been some point last season, maybe like Austria. But no, I'm really happy. Obviously, 31 points can all change in a click of a finger. But yeah, it's nice to have quite a comfortable gap going into the second half of the season.
Yes. Yes, congratulations on your victory, of course. And I think that's all we got time for.
So with that, with 20 viewers still here on the stream, thank you very much for joining us today. It was a fantastic Grand Prix. Thank you, Sam, for joining me in the commentary box. It was a thoroughly enjoyable Grand Prix to commentate alongside you. And with that, I end the stream. You see here the previous driver standings, but now Jamham is surely going to be a long way ahead of Policious going into the next round. So with that, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will be back next week for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and I'll see you there. Bye bye.